Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host, and I am not God, obviously. I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotion podcast to help you see divinity in every day. The last few weeks of my life, the last month of my life, I've been navigating negotiations for a book deal. I'm publishing a book. It's coming out next spring. Please bless you all buy it. Would be so honored. You don't have to read it. I just need you to buy it. So when that pre-order comes around, I don't need you to read it. I just need you to buy it. But as I've been going through this process, it's a very vulnerable process, especially when it's a book that means as much to me as this one does. And there's been a lot of ups and downs. And so as with any vulnerably creative process, you learn a lot through it. I've been wanting to talk about this thing publicly, this experience, this process publicly, but I don't think it's appropriate or responsible to do so yet. So I'm not actually going to. Clickbait. But it made me think about how you just don't have to prove anything to anyone. You have nothing to prove, specifically when it comes to faith. And I know that this is a message that I've shared before of like, you don't have to define it. You don't have to label it. You don't have to announce it. But even on a deeper level, I think when we are navigating things, and let's take faith as the example, when you are experimenting with different beliefs, trying different things on, maybe you are half in, half out of your faith and you're exploring things, I think that we have to be really serious about our responsibility of what we invite feedback on and what we don't. I think that a lot of times from a place of insecurity, we can want to like make statements and make waves. I think that can feel empowering, but I think often the deeper motivation is from a place of insecurity of wanting a reaction either way. Either we want other people who we respect to tell us that what we're doing is okay, or we want people who we don't want to be like, people who we might not be respecting, people who are trying to separate ourselves from, to be angry at us, to fight back, because then that gives us the evidence that we want of like, see, I'm different. I'm doing things differently. I'm not like them. And so either way, there's kind of an insecurity seeking validation when we prematurely share experimentation and choices and situations in our life. And I want to encourage you to fight against that, like, prove it mentality. It's so fun to be petty. Okay? It is. It's just fun to be petty. And sometimes you need to call a friend and you just need to say, can I be petty for a minute? Is anything more fun than receiving that phone call when your friend calls you and says, I just have something petty to get off my chest? Like, okay, let's go to Chili's. But there's a time and a place in the processing, but we need to work through that. Pettiness is to be processed, not portrayed, okay? It's a beautiful part of the process, and it can be empowering for a minute, and it can help us move through and take the action that we need to. But I want to invite all of us to get to a place of better stability and homeostasis before maybe making proclamations and trying to prove ourselves to people publicly. As I look back at my process and the processes that I'm still in, whenever we feel like we're making these big shifts, it's so uncomfortable and it's so vulnerable. And we want the validation. We want people to tell us it's okay. And we want other people to disagree with us because it gives us validation on that same insecurity. And I have felt like I know that I could talk about this creative process of my book, but I also know that I have learned the hard way that it's just not responsible. I think we have to understand that certain things, our pettiness is to be processed, not proclaimed. Our experimentations, it can feel so empowering to move through it in a way that gets us the attention and the validation that we want. But it's a lot healthier, and we're going to get to a true place of peace and alignment if we can do it a little bit more responsibly and a little bit more privately. Not because we're ashamed and not because we're keeping secrets. It's just not everything is meant for public consumption. And in our world and our internet life and social media, and I'm saying this as a person who shares my life online, but not every part of ourselves and not every part of our lives is meant for public consumption. And not everything is meant to be shared in real time. There's kind of a side to this argument where it's like, well, nobody ever shares the messy middle. You can't share the messy middle at the cost of your own wellness and your own stability and your own peace. You just can't. And so I'm sorry that it would be really nice to watch someone in the messy middle. I still don't think that personally that's a responsible, productive thing to do. And I think that it can normalize things that we shouldn't normalize, like having a panic attack every single day, which was my life for a while last year. That shouldn't be normalized. There's not shame in that, but If I'm having a panic attack every single day, I need help. I need resources. I need to sort that out. I don't need to go live on Instagram and normalize that situation. So when I say you don't have anything to prove, this is a long, all over the way of trying to say, just take pause. I have, in the last month, had my faith questioned, had my testimony questioned. Proving yourself can feel empowering, and it's a part on the process. This empowerment spectrum, it's a stop on the process for sure. But what's even more empowering than showing up with this like prove it energy is quietly living a life of alignment and doing it peacefully. You don't have anything to prove. Wherever you're at on this journey and this spectrum is fine. And I've lived through the prove it empowerment phase, and it was what it needed to be. And so I don't want to like criticize anyone who is in that spot. But as I've learned and grown and gained more perspective and experience, I think when I feel the need to prove myself to people, when I feel the need to tell people why my faith is good enough and why my choices are okay and why everything I do is fine, that's rooted in deep insecurity and a need for validation. And the more we can align our choices just between us and God, when it's just between me and God. My dog's here. Oh, what a treat. What a treat. We got Artie on screen. Go to YouTube just to see Artie on screen. Hi, Pep. Hi. You're a good pup. You're a good pup. He's the perfect pup. There's no one better than him. But when we can live a quiet life of alignment without having to prove ourselves or our faith to anyone, when we have that direct relationship with God where we know I'm good, what I'm doing is good, and maybe we don't know. That's what experimenting is. Maybe we're like, is this okay? Do I believe this? I actually don't know. That's when we're going to invite God into it while we figure it out, but we don't need to invite the whole internet into it. We don't need to invite every single person in our life into it even, because we have nothing to prove. Give yourself the space to experiment, invite God into the experiment, but fight that urge to prove it. Fight that urge to need other people to be okay with it, because the only way you will ever find actual peace is when you're living in peaceful alignment with the divine. Let your life be evidence enough. Let your peace be the proof. And when someone comes in and maybe attacks you, and maybe that's happened to me in the last month, and maybe they say that your faith isn't strong enough, that's okay. I have nothing to prove. I'm at peace. I'm doing my best. I'm inviting God into it. Let that be enough. Let your peace be the proof. Your peace is empowerment enough. Love you so much. Bye.